Hey y'all, buenos dias, buenas noches. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about Blueface and Chrisean Rock. I believe this is the finale, I'm pretty sure. So Blueface and Chrisean in the beginning and opening up, and definitely make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't, because next we're going to be talking about daddies, y'all. But Blueface and Chrisean, it opens up with them getting ready to go out to eat. And he did ask her what she thought about therapy. So she told him that people like you don't need therapy. I'm like, girl, he's the main one that would need therapy. But okay, you're giving bad advice. Then she starts crying as usual, talking about, some drunken, is definitely a drunken emotional cry, talking about how much she loves him. And that's the only reason why she was crying. He's like, nah, tell me. She's like, nah, it's just I love you. And she said she doesn't like talking about stuff and explaining stuff, which we've seen her deflect many times, especially when it comes to certain things that might get her in her feelings. It's like she's very emotional, but also reserved with things that are going to really, really hurt her. That's what I've noticed from her. I was just looking, and I feel like I knew this before, but did I say it last week that she's a Pisces? And for me, I know that I can definitely, but I got some mental shit going on as well. I could definitely be very impulsive. I can also be very emotional as well. Pisces are definitely very emotional people. And if you don't feel like you're being treated a certain way, or if you feel like somebody's trying to play you, I know for me, I will definitely do some crazy stuff. But it's also not always solely the what you call it signs. It's not solely the zodiac signs. It's also certain things that can go into mental health as well. And she seems like someone that could have something like BPD, or honestly, a combinations of things. She has like an fearful attachment type of situation going on. She's like super like clingy, But anyways, that's enough of that. So anyway, they go to therapy, and Chrisean, she seems like she was like a little bit afraid of communicating about things that were going on. And she also couldn't talk about anything good when he asked her about good things in a relationship. But when he asked her, okay, so what's negative, she was able to say the bad very easily. And how Blue, he's a good person, but he tends to do things that hurt her, or she didn't say hurt her, but he tends to do certain things like be with other chicks on the gram and stuff like that. And she was also talking about how she flips out. But the crazy thing is that she's also there like drinking a Red Bull and drinking some liquor. So I'm like, make it make sense. Like, how you intoxicated while you're trying to put out your stuff? I guess it's to kind of relax her. But I don't know. It just seems kind of weird, because I don't feel like you're fully there if you're under the influence. But I could be wrong. But anyway, the therapist, he mentioned, Dr. Ish, he mentions that it seems like she was trying to always fight for everything, and that could definitely mess you up when you've had to fight for everything that you want. Like, you're just so used to those types of things. She has to fight for her love. She has to fight her family, because they're not appreciative of the things that she does. And he was like, it seems like it's exhausting. And she said that, she likes a challenge, and she said that in the meantime, she makes money. So, the therapist said that he was like, what is it that you want in your relationship? And she had mentioned that, she kind of tried to deflect from that. She's like, why are you asking that? And then she just says that she was grateful for everything that she has. And he was like, how would you want this relationship to be? That's the question. If you could just snap your fingers and say, like, this is how I would like it. And it's like, she couldn't really give a straightforward answer to that. She said it's supposed to be us and them, it's supposed to be us, not them and us, I believe she said. Or something like that. I think she said it's supposed to be us versus them, not us and them. Something like that. But yeah, so that was like her way of kind of explaining it. She also had mentioned that her stepfather used to be abusive to the mother and the kids as well. He used to line them up and used to slap them up and whip them. I think she even said he used to tie up the mom or tie up them. And I'm just like, wow, that sounds horrible. You know, she was saying that she would have to say they would all have to say the correct answers when he asked them a question, otherwise he would slap them. And it's like, even if they would tell him the truth, they would have to change their answers because the answers they give wasn't the ones that he had to say. And I definitely know that can be traumatizing. I remember years and years ago, there was a relationship that I was in where it was something similar to that nature, where we had domestic violence going on. But the thing about it was that he wanted me to always say or give the responses that he wanted me to say. And if I didn't, then we would start fighting. Like, I never got beat up, but it was like, we was like fist fighting, you know what I'm saying? There was some moments where I was tired, I didn't win, but you know, it was always like, I defended myself at the end of the day, because from the Bronx, I ain't no punk, but nah. No, but for real though, so I kind of related to that when she was saying that, because I'm like, damn, you know, I definitely know how that feels, that you feel like you don't have a voice, you can't speak up, you can't say what you really want, like you kind of have to like hold it in or whatever. When his therapist spoke to Blue, he mentioned that, you know, stuff she does isn't really sustainable, but he was like, you know, yeah, it's true, but it makes her lit. And Jonathan was like, he doesn't like how emotional she gets. And I mean, I feel almost like he's using it. And I was talking to my therapist about this as well. Like, some people use emotions or they say emotions like it's a negative thing, but it's not necessarily something negative. It just kind of depends on, I guess, like how you use it or to what extent. Everybody has emotions, or some people are more withdrawn, or some people are just more like reserved with it. And I don't know I think she's more impulsive than emotional, but it could be a little bit of both, because she does cry a lot. I don't know if the crying is part of the problem for him as well, or if it's just the outburst and, you know, things that she actually does. Because sometimes when you become impulsive, you just don't really think about the consequences until it goes too far. Then you're like, damn, why did I do that? Or I probably should have handled this a little bit differently, you know? But yeah, the therapist mentioned that she tends to give others power over her emotions. And Jonathan was saying, yeah, Blueface was saying, yeah, that's true, you know? And for him, he just kind of lays down and chills when she does that, to kind of just let her do her own thing, you know? And he said that she's looking for anything. Like, the problem is, you know, he feels like that would throw fuel on the fire if he engages. But he was like, the problem is, when she's doing these things, sometimes it's almost like a cry, where she's trying to see validation and things to show that he's doing something, that he doesn't love her. And then when she finds these things, or when he just kind of like, then she explodes. And then when he doesn't like have a reaction, doesn't do anything, doesn't validate her, then she explodes even more, and it gets even worse. So yeah, it's kind of like he is adding fuel to the fire without even realizing it, because all she's looking for is love and validation, because it seems like that's what she's lacked in her childhood. It seems like this is stemming from like childhood trauma, a lot of the way that she is today. Chrisean mentioned that she has 7 tattoos of Blueface, and that she did it because she was bored. And the therapist is like, well, that doesn't make any sense. She's like, that's why I did it though. Like, at the end of the day, the truth is that she's like worshiping him, you know? It's like she feels like she wants to be so connected to him. It's like she wants to show her loyalty, devotion to him. And those are the real reasons why she's doing it, because she's so into him. You know, it's almost like she never wants him to really leave. Like, it would probably be crazy if he was to leave. I mean, now, as we know, she's pregnant, so maybe that might give her a little more of a reason to love herself and have someone else to love, and not really think about him as much. But that's a whole thing to be continued. But it's like, I feel like with that, and I did do a video about this on my main channel, which I'll link below, I do feel like she kind of, I don't know, I feel like this might help her to grow as a human being, because I mean, you can't be out here acting crazy. People gonna call ACS or try to take away your child. So you got to do better, you know? And I feel like it is definitely going to change her brand, change up who she is as being seen to the public. Chrisean also mentioned that that they have a relationship where she has to be good. Like, if she's not good, then he's going to get upset, but he gets to do whatever he wants. He gets to be with whoever he wants and stuff like that. He checks her phone, but when she does the same, it's like a huge problem. But, you know, from what is showed, she always tries to turn like sentimental or uncomfortable moments into funny or weird moments, you know, as kind of a way to deflect and take away from those types of moments where it's like a little silent or awkward, or someone's asking a serious question. She started like sitting on his lap and doing other little childish things to deflect from the questions that were being asked or the moment that was being had. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the episode, the finale, I suppose. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead. Next episode will be baddies. So I'll see you guys on the flip side. Laters.